How did the human beings show so much difference in the skin color, type of hair, color of eyes, etc.? I didn't understand this completely. I will explain that to you in detail. Welcome to the lesson on Evolution 1. At the end of this lesson, we will be able to understand evolution, understand and define speciation. Who are our ancestors? Let us go back to several generations and much more. We will find that there has been a huge genetic change that has been inherited over several generations. This is called evolution. Charles Robert Darwin put forth the idea of natural selection. He said that any species inherit the characteristics from his ancestors. To understand evolution, let us look at one example. This is a sample of beetle population. 90% of the beetles are brown, while 10% of the beetles are green. When some of the beetles are eaten by crow, then fewer beetles are available to reproduce. Generations later, this is the sample of the beetle population. More beetles are green than they were in previous generations. Crows cannot see green-colored beetles on the green leaves of the bushes and therefore cannot eat them. The green beetles are not eaten and red beetles continue to be eaten. As a result, there are more and more green beetles than red ones in the beetle population. This is evolutionary change from one generation to another. So, this is an example of evolution. The more crows there are, the more red beetles would be eaten, and the more the portion of green beetles in the population would be. Thus, natural selection is directing evolution in the beetle population. We can also say the color change gave survival advantage. Let us take another situation. A color variation arises during reproduction and it results in a beetle that is blue in color instead of red. This beetle also passes the color onto its progeny, and the next generation beetles are blue. Let us take a third situation. An elephant comes by and stamps on the bushes where the beetles live. This kills most of the beetles. By chance, the few beetles that have survived are mostly blue. Now, the beetle population that expands will have mostly blue beetles. Blue beetle was a rare variation, but it becomes a common characteristic in the population. Here, some accidents have changed some genes in a population, but they give no survival advantage. Let us take fourth example. If the bushes start suffering from a plant disease, the beetles are poorly nourished. As a result, the average weight of beetle decreases. After a few years, when the plant disease is eliminated, weight of beetle increases again as they are adequately nourished. Speciation is splitting of a population into two independent species which cannot reproduce with each other. Variation in genes and geographical isolation result in speciation. Let us consider one example. Suppose there are two islands. A boat from the first island travels to the second island. If a group of beetles happen to move from first island to the second island through the boat, then such an action will be called genetic drift. The beetles in the second island find the ecological conditions slightly different. Their food habits change drastically. Now, if after years this group of beetles happens to move back from the second island to the first island, they will not be able to join their earlier group. The two groups of beetles have evolved different characteristics because of genetic differences, and hence they will not be able to reproduce with each other. This is called speciation. The two groups split and genes cannot flow between them.